It's Kyle, and today we're stepping away from GoPros and looking at another brand of entry-level action cameras. This one was sent to me by the guys over at Gear Best, and it's the AMK5000 Wi-Fi action diving camera. So it's waterproof, it's got a competitor for the GoPro, it's got a very similar form factor, and depending on how the video quality and the audio quality stack up, it could be a competitor for your hard-earned dollars. This one comes in at 90 bucks, so about $40 less than the entry-level GoPro, which is $130, which is probably going to be the most fair comparison to this camera. But this is just the review of the AMK5000, and in a later video we'll do a full head-to-head between it and the GoPro Hero, the entry-level Hero, maybe also the Hero 2, and possibly as well a GoPro Hero 4 Black. So, what comes in the package? Well, you actually get a lot for your $90. You get a waterproof case for the AMK5000, and in fact, it's exactly the same case that the GoPro Hero 3s came in with, a slightly different latch. So on the top here, it's got basically a Hero 2 style latch. I'm going to keep referring back to GoPros, I'm sorry, but that's what I know. So it's got a Hero 2 style latch on the top, and it's the case itself looks very similar to that of a GoPro Hero 3 and the Hero 3 case. Your AMK5000 slides into the case just like any other GoPro, except for the GoPro Hero, which is not, of course, not removable from the case, and the latch snaps closed. Now, probably, and I'm sure everyone's going to ask, can you put this into a GoPro case? And the answer to that is yes. So right here, I've got a GoPro Hero 4 Silver. We're just going to take it out of its case, and we're going to put the AMK5000 into this one. So just like this, you can put it in and latch it closed, and there is the AMK5000 inside a GoPro Hero 4 Silver's waterproof housing. So yes, the cameras basically have an identical form factor and even an identical button placement as when it's in this case. All of the buttons on the AMK5000 work, and likewise, if you put a Hero 4 into the case that came with the with this one, you could use all the functionality as well. The camera behaves in much the same way as the standard GoPro button setup does. You push the power mode button down here on the bottom, push and hold, the camera boots up, and then an 8-segment display on the screen, which is a little bit more rudimentary than we're used to. All it's got is an 8-segment display, and then two little icons down the bottom for a card, battery life, and then a mode LED indicator up at the top, which is either video or photo, depending on what you've got it set to. So you can see there's photo, and then I push this mode button again, and I go back to video. To start recording, I push the record button, and the LED light starts blinking. Now, what you will notice is that the 8-segment display is not counting up. That's because it only counts up in minutes. So the only way you know or you're actually recording footage is after 1 minute. And up until that point, the only thing that you have to go on is that blinking red LED light. To stop recording, you hit the shutter button once again, and recording is stopped. We've talked about how to record, we've talked about how to stop recording, how to change modes. Now, obviously, we should talk about how to change settings. And put very simply, you don't change settings on the camera. All of the settings you change come from within the app, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The app is set up reasonably well. It's very responsive, and it's very easy to change settings from within the app, but it does mean that without the app, this thing does not have that much functionality. You're stuck with whatever default settings you set it to last time, and the screen doesn't even really have a way of displaying what those settings are. So without the app, and without this connected to the app, you can't really be sure what you're recording or how you're recording it. So connecting to the app is actually fairly simple. You do have to make sure you follow along with the manual very closely, because it's there's not many guides online on how to do it. So read that manual very carefully and do exactly what it says, and it will connect. So the first thing that we should talk about with this app is the responsiveness. It is way more responsive than the GoPro app. It's way fast. You can see here, I can put my hand down in front of the camera and it shows up on the screen right away. This is amazing. And it'll show you what it's recording when it's recording. So we'll switch to video mode, and then we'll start recording. And we can see we're recording, and we still have live view working. So You can preview what's recording while you're recording it, and then to change settings, you just tap the setting you want to change. So over here in the corner, all right, we'll stop recording first, and then we'll tap the settings so we can go full HD, 1080p, HD 30, and HD at 720p 60. So those are the 3 resolution settings. You can loop recording, you can change other settings in the camera here, time, date, white balance, and format the camera and reset startup, all kinds of stuff like that, as well as preview or review previous footage that you've taken with the camera. So lots of functionality within the app, and it's an easy way to change all those settings, and it's definitely a great way to change those settings. It's just a little bit disappointing that you couldn't do any of that on the camera. There's no way to change any of those settings on the camera. You're stuck with whatever you've set it to last within the app, and those are the settings it boots up with. So without the app, it's not that useful, but that's probably enough about how this camera behaves, how it operates, and things like that, as well as what it comes with. Let's talk about image quality, because really, at the end of the day, everything comes down to image quality. And the image quality is fairly good. There's not a huge dynamic range in it, and I'm sure you can see that from the sample video. It looks okay. It doesn't look absolutely amazing, but it is fairly good image quality for the price of the camera. You've got to keep in mind that this is a $90 camera, and it comes with all these accessories. So you get a micro USB cable, charging cable, you get a vented helmet strap mount, you get 2 buckle mounts, a J-buckle mount, a flat mount, 2 extension arms, as well as a couple of bolts. So you do get a huge amount of accessories with this camera, and it isn't expensive to begin with. So with image quality that looks pretty good, it's a fairly strong contender. There are some things to put up with. There's not much support for it. It's very hard to find manuals from people or guides. If something's not behaving quite right, it is difficult to figure out why that is, just because this isn't really a mainstream camera as of yet. And so if you're willing to kind of fight through problems on your own and deal with stuff like that really by yourself and work your way through it, it could be a strong contender. Again, in an upcoming video very shortly here, we're going to put this head-to-head with the GoPro Hero and the Hero 2, as well as the Black, probably the GoPro Hero 4 Black. So stay tuned for that if you want to see a comparison of image quality between this and the Hero and the all the different kind of lineup of GoPro cameras versus this. And until next time, guys, thank you very, very much for watching. This was another GoPro tips and tricks video. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you subscribe, check out my channel for lots more videos, and like the video. Until next time, thank you very, very much for watching.